¿Qué tal, comunidad? Aquí es su abogado Ray Ibarra Maldonado. Como siempre, un gusto. Este video va a ser en inglés. This video is going to be in English. Si quieren español, pone abajo español. Ladies and gentlemen, very special guest that we have today, Aaron Lopez Anchondo, representing with the starter from the border shirt. Aaron, how you doing today?
Doing great, Ray. How's your day going?
Really good day. Really excited because you have been the number one guest with the most views from any invitee ever. So we said it was so popular last time, let's do it for his fans all over again. So what was that video we did last time, Aaron?
First of all, it's an honor for people to enjoy the video. Last video we did was about DACA, DACA renewals. So now we're gonna go to part two of like one of the privileges of having DACA as of right now.
So we did the DACA renewal. Y'all watched that. And again, remember, this is not legal advice. Me doing this video, us doing this video, I'm not your attorney. We're not your law firm. Just we said, hey, people loved it last time. People are probably doing it on their own. Why don't we just show them the inside of how we do it here at the law firm, of how we do an advanced parole application. So we're doing this based off of numerous ones we've already sent off and got approved. And Aaron has not done advanced parole yet, right, Aaron?
No, not yet. But I've seen a lot of people apply, so I was like, why not? It's a, like I mentioned, it's a privilege to be able to travel back to my home country, to Mexico. And what best way to do it through advanced parole right now that it's still active for renewals. So, because they could end at any time. So, but as of now, you can still renew your DACA and also apply for advanced parole. So.
And that's a great point, Aaron. Let's remind people today is June 22nd, 2023. We got to check to make sure that the law with DACA and advanced parole stays the same. We are expecting a decision from Judge Hannon any day now, which I think will probably take away advanced parole, which I've been telling so many people, get it out, get it out, get it out. I think DACA is going to be safe. Don't want to scare anybody. Don't want people to get frightened, but I do think advanced parole has more of a risk of going away in the near future than the actual DACA work permit and promise not to be deported program. So we're going to go over in this video the forms that need to be filled out, the questions that how we're going to answer them. But again, remember, very important, as Aaron mentioned, keep track of the date. Maybe if you're watching this video months later, advanced parole is no longer an option, or maybe the DREAM Act has happened, right, Aaron? And we can just do the residency, and then people can come and go at will. But let's go ahead and get the ball rolling on this. So first, we got to remind people to be eligible for advanced parole through DACA. Obviously, you have to have DACA already. And then you have to have one of three reasons of why you want to leave the country. Either for work, for education, or for humanitarian purposes. And it doesn't have to be to your country of origin. It can be anywhere in the world that you want to do one of those three related things. Aaron, which one of those three are you hoping to go for?
The one I'm hoping to go for is going to be the humanitarian reason. So an option number 3 there. Go visit my family member that are currently ill, my grandmother, and also visit the graveyard of my grandfather that recently passed away in November. So that would be my humanitarian reason to go back to Mexico, my hometown of Hermosillo, Sonora.
Y que viva Sonora, long live Sonoran hot dogs and flour tortillas, absolutely. And that means a lot, Aaron. I think that's going to strike a chord with a lot of people because to be in the United States of America, great, you got the privilege, you got the work permit, but you're not allowed to leave. Like, to me, that's just so stupid, so ridiculous. Like, the joy of traveling, learning about your own culture or other cultures, it just enriches your life so much, the opportunity to travel. So let's get the ball rolling so we can get you out there, down to Hermosillo to see the family, see the homeland again. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share the screen and let people know what we normally work off of in the attorney world. It's called a cover sheet, right? So this is a sample cover sheet that I had redacted from an actual DACA that we sent out on that date, advanced parole, February 6, 2023, and it since was approved. So here you see the address, right? And it's always important when you're sending anything to USCIS that you double and triple check what address it's supposed to go to. And this is the address where we sent ours. And then we put a little title up here, what it is, and the name and the A number of the person. and then it gets down to the nitty-gritty, right? The first form, and this is good for us in terms of being organized, these are all the forms that we know we have to send out, and we're telling USCIS this is what's all included in this giant packet you have behind this letter. So it looks real nice and fancy and approvable as soon as you sent it off. So that first form we have here, and this is, we're making the road as we're going, is form G1145, right? So I literally just go over here to Google and I'll put in form G1145, and I want to look for the actual USCIS page, right? So this is actual USCIS. It's not some other company like the Boundless or somebody here. It's actual USCIS because they might want to have you pay a fee after that. So here's the form itself. This form, ladies and gentlemen, is just to be notified. It's the manner of how you want to be notified. It's not necessarily the most important of all, but if you do want to get kept up to tabs, here you would put your name, right? So we would write in here applicant petitioner's full last name. So we would write Mr. Lopez, and then full last name, and then first name, Mr. Aaron, middle name if you have one, then it would be email address, and then mobile phone number, and that is it, right? It's a very simple form, just so USCIS knows how you want to be notified. Once we have that form filled out, I come back over here and I say, what else do I need? Well, in our world, we do what's called a G28. And a G28 is us telling USCIS, we are the attorneys of record. Since we're not representing you on this case, I'm not going to show you that, but that would be the next form that we as attorneys would fill out. Then it goes to the big one, the form I-131. So the form I-131, we pull it up over here as well. We, very important, want to go to the USCIS webpage, and we also want to go to the most recent edition. Make sure that when you're filling out this application that you're looking, and here you can fill it out online, but we're going to go a little bit old school here and show you the paper form here. Makes it easier on this for us. And then you go down here to the form I-131. Always good to have the instructions open as well when you're filling out these forms, because a lot of questions will pop up and there they'll be. So here we have the actual form I-131. And I look, anytime I'm with an immigration form, I want to look at the expiration date here, right? Expires October 30th. Halloween, isn't that crazy? Halloween 2025, this form expires. If we were filling this out, I would click this because I'm going to be the attorney, and for Aaron we will be as well. So I would mark the X in this box, and then I would put my bar license number there at the bottom, and then we would go in to fill out the form. So again, Aaron's, we want to stay consistent with what it shows on his DACA, right? So the best case scenario, if I'm not filling this out with Aaron, I have his DACA right next to me, and I'm putting last name in here, and then I'm putting Aaron here, and then any middle name. And then I'm going to put physical address. This is the physical address they will ask you later in the form of where you want the document mailed to. So here you would put your street address, your street number and the name of the street. If there's an apartment, you put it here, and then the apartment number here, the city where you're at, the state from the drop-down menu, and then your zip code, right? Province, country, United States of America, and that will fill out that first part of your physical address. Aaron, can you tell folks where they might find number 3 here, their A number? Where could they find that at?
Yeah, so your A number, there's 2 easy ways to find it. If you have, the first one is if you have your DACA card, which most of us should have it, because they'll ask for that for employment, for driver's license, and getting a bank account. It's going to be in your card. It's not going to say A number on there, it's going to say USCIS number. That's the same number as the A number. The other place where you can find it is going to be on your receipts from USCIS. Usually it's on the right top corner, and there will be an A number, the letter A number, and then 9 digits, separated 3 by 3s.
There you go. Thank you so much, Aaron, for that. Y recuerda, si estás viendo y quieres el video en español, pon español abajo, and we can do another video in the future. Then you put your country of birth. Remember, this is all staying consistent with what you put on your DACA application. Country of citizenship, don't get confused. You should be able to put USA, right? Everybody feels that they're a citizen already, but still you have to put the usually country of origin. Every now and again you're born in one country, but then you went to another country, you became a citizen there. For class of admission, we've been putting DACA down. Again, it's not, I mean, technically, there might be some attorneys watching and say, well, DACA is not a class of admission, but nonetheless, this is what we've been putting down, and we haven't had any issues with it yet. Gender, date of birth, and then the social security number, which you should have from getting your work permit, right? And again, always down here checking this edition date to make sure we're up current and have the right one. Otherwise, that can cause a lot of problems. All right, now we're getting a little bit more of the confusing part. Remember, and this might freak you out a little bit, but this application is for multiple people trying to get different results. So not every question is going to apply to you. Some of them are going to be for people that are trying in a different status or are trying to get something else, right? So here's one of the first ones. Which one should someone with DACA fill out, right? I'm applying for an advanced parole document to allow me to return to the United States after temporary foreign travel. Really, all the other ones just don't fit. They would be more for someone that's a refugee trying to get the refugee travel document, or someone who's outside the United States trying to get advanced parole. Outside of the scope of this video, for the purposes of today, all you got to know is if you're trying to go through DACA, you click 1D. And then again, we come down here and it says if you clicked 1F, then fill out 2A through 2P. So we did not click 1F, did we, Aaron? So we don't have to worry about 2A through 2P. Now, during a period of the Trump administration, if we did not put anything in these boxes like NA, they would return the forms to us. Nowadays, they thankfully have gotten away from that, so you can continue to leave things blank that do not apply to you. So again, 1F has to do 2A through 2P. That is not us, so we keep scrolling down, right? We go to number 3 here, date of attended departure. Now, a date of attended departure, you might have it, right? You might have it if you have an educational program you're going to, your work needs you to be at a conference or something, you might have that date. If you don't have it, then you can just put upon approval, right? You might have to write this one in a little bit differently, but really what you're saying is, hey, you know, once you give me an approval, that's the date I want to issue forward, and then going forward. Number of days, Aaron, how long do you think you're going to be gone?
Probably 2 weeks.
So 2 weeks, we're going to throw 14 days down here. Are you in exclusion, deportation, removal, or rescission proceedings, or have you ever been?
No.
All right. And if so, we put the name of the office down there. Have you ever before been issued a reentry permit or a refugee travel document?
No.
And if you had, don't worry. You just put yes, you put the date, and you put that it was approved or whatever it was down here. I do know people who have DACA who have taken multiple trips outside on advanced parole, right? And here it even says in bold, if you're applying for a non-DACA related advanced parole, skip to Part 7. DACA recipients must complete Part 4 before skipping to Part 7, right? So DACA recipients, that would be Mr. Aaron, and that's why we had to go to number 4. And we keep going down here. And then, again, more confusing stuff. Aaron is not going to be picking this up at a U.S. embassy or consulate. He wants to pick it up or mail to the address that he put in Part 1, 2A through 2I, which is his address, right? 6 would be if someone's out of the country. Again, it would be more of the refugee, probably not so much the DACA. So this is number 5 that you would fill out, that you want it sent back to you. And then again, this whole section here is just dealing with if you wanted one of these boxes checked. So we don't have to worry about that. So we can keep scrolling because we already told them where we want it mailed to. Now, information about your proposed travel. Mr. Lopez Anchondo told us at the beginning and he is going to go to visit relatives, right, and grave, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it really can be as simple as visit grandmother, and the spelling is wrong. And visit grave of grandfather. List the countries you intend to visit. Again, he's intending to go to Mexico, so we put Mexico here. And then part 5, complete only if applying for a re-entry permit. This is for legal permanent residents who have been gone for a while, not applying to Aaron Lopez Anchondo here. Right? Applying for a refugee travel document, then we fill out the rest of it here. So as you're going to see, surprisingly, there's not that much to fill out here. It doesn't mean we're done though, right? Part 7, complete only if applying for advanced parole. Aaron, you're intending to take one trip out, right? So we'd put the one trip here. If you were intending to take multiple trips, then we could mark the multiple trip here. And then if the person intends to receive the advanced parole outside the U.S., again, we'd put the location here. But not applicable, we already told them where we want it, right? And then we keep going down here. The employment authorization document for a new period. That doesn't apply as well. That's for other folks. And then you would sign here, put your contact info here, the date and the phone number. Bada boom, bada bing, and then we would fill this part out because we signed the rest of it and fill out this part as well. So that is essentially the I-131. It's quick, it's dirty, but the case is not over, ladies and gentlemen, right? We go back to our cover sheet, we see what else we need. We would need Aaron to give us a copy of his passport. We would also want a copy of his current work permit and driver's license. The receipt notices that came in the mail approving the work permit and the DACA, and then finally a statement. So this is a lot of the bread and butter right here. Aaron, we need you to write a detailed statement, and again, it's not like high school class. We need 4 paragraphs, 5 paragraphs, 2 to 3 pages about why you want to travel on advanced parole and how it means so much to you, right? Given that we're going for humanitarian reasons, you want to put in there the emotional connection that you felt with your grandparent that passed away, how connected you feel with your grandmother that you want to see, and really just tell your story to USCIS about why you want permission to be able to be let back in the country. Then we want the birth certificate as well, translated into English. If we're going, like this was the case through a grandfather passing away, we want to prove that chain. So then we'll also need your mom or dad's birth certificate translated, the grandparents' birth certificate translated in English, and then the death certificate as well translated. Finally, we're going to want 2 photos, the filing fee of $575 made out to U.S. Department of Homeland Security, and then we send it off, right? That's pretty much the gist of the advanced parole application for DACA as of June 22, 2023. I rambled a lot, Mr. Lopez Anchondo. Anything else you think is important for our community to know about applying for this advanced parole here?
Actually, yes. So if you have DACA and first of all, renew your DACA. If it's expiring soon, within like 3 months or so, make sure you renew your DACA as soon as possible. Always give us a call here at 602-910-4040 for us to be able to assist you with the renewal of your DACA. But because that's the main reason why you can apply for this advanced parole. I wish I had the privilege of applying for advanced parole before, but I thought I didn't have the need of it. But then later I was like, I saw people going out, people enjoying their families, seeing them for one last time. Fortunately, I wasn't able to see my grandfather that passed away in November. I could have. But now it's it's in the past. But now I can go see my other grandmother that's still alive and do it for my humanitarian purposes. But also, of course, like there's 2 other reasons that you can go. You go for work purposes or educational purposes. I know there are some organizations that are doing the educational purposes. So always a research. If you want us to provide you with referrals, we could always do that. Like ADAC, they're doing the one where they go to Mexico and for the educational purposes. So if you have the privilege to be able to go one more time and see your grandfather or a relative in your home country, I would say do it, because right now we have this opportunity. Later, we don't know if we're still going to have that. Hopefully, there's something like the Dream Act. Probably some. I want something better than the Dream Act. There has to be more to it.
There we go.
That way, we are able to move freely. Migration is a human right, so we should be able to move freely wherever we want to go. So right now, there's some limits to that. But thanks to the advanced parole, we are able to travel back to our home country or whichever country, like Ray mentioned earlier, like Abogado Ray mentioned, anywhere in the world if it's like educational work and humanitarian reasons. So if you can do it, go ahead and apply for it. I highly recommend it.
Awesome, and Aaron will take us through this journey. When he gets his approval, because the approval notices are very scary, and it's something I do want to clarify as an attorney as well. The approval notice says very clearly, this does not guarantee your admission to come back, right? If you have an inadmissibility, if you have a prior removal order, if there's something in your past that you think, hey, maybe I should talk to an attorney before I go, yes, you should. 602-910-4040 is our number. Again, this is very important because a grant, an approval of advanced parole does not guarantee reentry. We haven't seen any problems with it, but it is in bold on these approval notices, and it is the law as it is. So anytime you come to the port of entry in land, in the airplane, whatever, you're applying for admission, there's the opportunity that even though you have the permit, they don't let you back in. So we want to be very careful that you're cognizant of that risk, but not to overly scare you of it, because we haven't seen anybody that has problems with it. Of course, everybody that we have that has DACA, we already screen them, and we screen them again before they apply for advanced parole to make sure they're admissible when they come back into the country. Aaron, I want to thank you so much, man, for letting us use your story here as a guideline for folks so they have an understanding of what they can travel for and also what goes into the application. If anybody has any questions, comments, or concerns, give us a call. Ask for myself or Mr. Lopez Anchondo, and we'll do the best we can to get that answer to you. Thanks so much, folks. Have a great day.